Welcome back to Rhythm and Roads. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. We have two special guests with us. We have filmmaker Andie.Lemus and we have actress producer McKenzie Shea. So, welcome to Rhythm and Roads to share your story.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
happy to be here.
Oh yeah, and we're looking forward to hearing the journey for the film coming up, Imposter. But one thing about filmmakers, which I'm a filmmaker as well, and I have a lot of friends that are in the industry as well. But what's thing that's really interesting is the story, right? You all have a story, you each have a story, and I want to get to know your story of like what started the spark of wanting to become a filmmaker, to get into being an actress, So I don't know who wants to go first, but the platform's open to you.
I don't know, Mackenzie, you want to go first or?
Sure. So I'll go. As you mentioned, I started off as an actor, but I had always done uh, different programs growing up. I did New York Film Academy, like summer film
Oh,
camps,
cool.
like
All right.
all growing up.
Yeah.
And I really always loved I grew up doing a lot of theater as well, but I always really loved film, and just that particular medium always spoke to me. And I don't know if it's because my dad was kind of a film guy as
Oh,
well.
cool.
um,
Yeah.
so he kind of got me into it, and showed me all his favorite movies, and he has had really great taste in movies. So I saw a lot of things that I probably was a little too young to see growing up. I grew up just really loving film and
Yeah.
acting, and yeah, the filmmaking bug didn't really hit until a couple of years ago. I have to say, like the pandemic, where I
Oh,
kind of
no.
realized that as an actor, you're kind of you do get this incredible opportunity and this really great privilege to be the face of someone's story,
Mhm.
but you don't really have as much creative control or even just control of what projects you work on. You're kind of a little bit, just thrown in there to whatever roles you wind up getting, and you don't really get to tell the story. So I joined a creative group of people, and I kind of was like, one day I was like, I think I want to be a producer. Like, I think I want to start, creative producing. And at that point, I started working with a friend of mine, developing a play that she was working on, and then Andie. Also, we had been we met at an acting studio, the
Oh,
two of
cool.
us, and she had told me she was working on something, and I kind of one day I was like, I want to start producing, and she's like, well, have a film I'm working on, and so we kind of started Lucky Cut Productions with the idea that like we love really good storytelling, we love character driven pieces and original IP, and we just love original stories, and we
Wow.
wanted to have more control about how we tell them.
How you
And
tell them? Yeah. So I'm aware of the Lemon Cut Productions. Who started that? You both or?
yeah, Lucky Cut. So we started it together.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Gosh, about a year and a half ago, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I want to say that I wrote the script for Imposter about a year and a half ago, and then we didn't start getting Lucky Cut pulled together until probably like last summer.
Oh,
Mhm.
I
wow.
want
Okay.
to say. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time just talking about and developing like how we wanted to do filmmaking.
Mm.
Mhm.
I think that's a big piece
Yeah.
of why we wanted to start Lucky Cut Productions.
Right.
Was that like we wanted to just like do filmmaking in a different way where it was like really a team sport, um, and like making sure that all the artists involved felt like they were heard and really
Mm.
part of the
I like
story.
that. Yeah.
And I think a big piece of our sort of ethos with Lucky Cut is that we want to make stories that are greater than the sum of its parts,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We want like everyone showing up to do their best work because they care about the story, because their voice is being heard. And then when you have everyone on the team doing that, you do end up making a story that's greater than the sum of its parts.
That's
So
true. I like that. Wow. It kind of reminds me of Rhythm and Roads, what I'm doing, because you said you wanted to give that voice to those that really want to express their creativity in the acting space. And then for me, it's like everyone has a story. So, hey, this platform's open to you to get that out, share
yeah,
it. So I like that. Thanks for sharing that, Andy. But what's
Yeah.
your story, Andy? But first, I want to say, McKenzie, thank you for sharing your
Oh, of
story.
course.
Yeah, that was interesting. I like that. Yeah, and then, especially your dad. I mean, that's cool that he brought you up in that. So
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah. All right, Andy. So, what's your
Um,
story?
so I guess the question being like how I got into
Yeah,
filmmaking.
well, or just the start of it. I mean, was it when you were young? The spark of a movie that interests you, or
Yeah, I think I mean like I've loved stories like since I can remember, and I think it's like a very human thing to like
yeah,
love stories and to need stories and crave stories and
yeah.
stuff. I mean I loved movies and TV shows since I was a kid, and I grew up very much a tomboy. I was like very much a highly competitive athlete.
Wow.
Um, but I always wanted to be in the arts. I always wanted to be like writing and storytelling and stuff like that, and almost felt like I couldn't because I was like sort of, you know, athletics was like the thing I was good at, right?
Yeah.
um, so then by the time I got to college, I had sort of left competitive athletics behind and was like, cool, I get to do what I want to do now,
Yeah.
right? Um, so I went to Florida State University. They
Oh,
have a very
nice.
good film program,
Okay.
and I wasn't a film major or anything, but my first day of my freshman year, I went into the film school, wrote down my name and number on a piece of paper, stuck it up on the bulletin board, and was like, if you need volunteers, give me a call.
Wow.
Um, so I volunteered on student film sets for all 4 years of college. So that's,
Wow.
I guess,
Okay.
kind of like how I got my feet wet,
Yeah.
right? Of just like learning
Experience. Yeah.
how set works and all the different departments and all of that stuff. Um, and I really wanted to be in front of the camera. I wanted to act.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I moved to LA, was there for about 2 years and was like, okay, I need to like really learn how to do acting and not just like try an audition. So I went to a conservatory in New York
Okay.
for acting and did theater and some short films and stuff like that in the New York area for a while, and then the pandemic hit.
Mm.
Um, and I think I was just at a point in my life where I kind of had the same thing where it was like actors, there's a lot that's out of your control
Mm.
with the storytelling. I mean, you can, tell the story through the character, but the creative decisions of what story is being told and how it's told are very much out of your control. Especially when you're not like, super well known and you're like trying to cut your teeth, right? It's kind
Oh,
of you
very true.
say yes to like anything you can get, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Um, so and if I'm being honest, like that's really where I wanted to end up. I wanted to end up being a writer director, even though I really loved acting. I think like my end game was to like tell my own stories, right?
Right.
Um, so it got to a point where, I'd also been doing writing kind of throughout that whole thing, writing short stories, writing, one act plays and stuff like that. I had done a little bit of directing, and so I kind of made the decision to shift my focus toward writing and directing.
Okay.
And then Mackenzie and I had started this creative accountability group, which is, we have about like 5 women that meet like every 2 weeks. We've been doing that for like 2 years now.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool. Wow.
and my initial goal in that was to write a short film that I intended to make.
Yeah.
So once that script was done, which is the script for Imposter, I had a reading within that group, which Mackenzie was a part of.
Yeah.
And at that same time, Mackenzie had expressed that she wanted to learn more about producing and try her hand at that. So once we had that reading and Mackenzie was like, I think we got something here. Do you want to make this together? And I was like, let's do it. So
There it is.
so that's how all of that happened. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you, Andy, for sharing that. Are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
still in LA or did you move?
No, so I'm actually in Maine right
Oh, you're in
now.
Maine. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like an interesting thing about McKenzie and I working together is that I think we've known each other for like 3.5 years now,
Yeah,
something
going on
Yeah.
like
4.
that,
Yeah.
maybe almost four, and we've never met in person.
You've never met in person? You
No.
used to
We've
be
done
like, hey,
this
let's just meet
all
Started
there
coming
once.
Zoom.
together. Because I
Wow.
mean, we live in the digital age, right, man?
All
Like
right, yeah.
we, COVID and everything else.
But if
That
I'm
was
gonna be
just
a
how we
partner with
met.
someone, I'm gonna be, hey, can we at least see each other in person
Yeah,
once?
exactly. Like by the time we get to set, because we're still very much in pre-production on this,
Oh, okay. Right,
like
right.
once we get to set, like it's just gonna be like the biggest hug
Oh
in
my
the
God, for real.
world. It's
How
just
many years of not seeing each other? 3 years?
yeah,
Yeah,
something
almost
like
4. Literally, it'll be 4, I
Four?
think, at the end of the summer.
Oh my God, I've never met anyone that's 4 years of a friendship, never met in person. Like,
Yeah,
you get
well,
the
during the
effort.
pandemic, it was really interesting.
Yeah.
How Andy and I met was through this acting studio that was
Oh,
doing Zoom classes during the pandemic so that everybody could stay sharp, when quote unquote things opened back up.
yeah.
And Andy, believe it or not, you're like not even the oldest friend I have from doing that back in
yeah.
2020. Like, there are people I've known for years that I talk to multiple times a week that we like do self tapes, via Zoom and help each other out, coach each other, rehearse everything else. Never met. It's crazy.
Oh, that's it. That is crazy. Hey, well, I wanted to ask you, Mackenzie, what films have you been in? Because I know you're an actress. If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to
So
talk about-
I've done, the New York actor Law and Order episode.
Oh, you did?
I did that a couple years ago.
Okay.
I had like a very small co-star role that I was fortunate to do, I think 3 episodes on for Law
That's
and Order
cool.
Organized
Wow.
Crime. Yeah, that was really cool.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Being on a Dick Wolf set, I have to say, was like watching people who are so good at what they do. Because as an actor, you've been on film sets in the past, and you're like sitting there, kind of twiddling your thumbs for hours, and you're like, gosh, when is this day gonna end? We're in like double overtime, triple overtime, it's
Right.
golden time, like all the things.
Yeah.
And it was just the most well run operation like set I've ever seen. So that was a really cool experience. I did a really great horror film a couple of years ago, and kind of got introduced into like the horror community, which was really cool. Called The Fetus, with Joe Lamb directing, and Laura Liviera starring in. So that was really great to get to meet all of those people.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah, I've done a lot of independent films over the years, a lot of co-star, type style roles on stuff like that. I've worked on, friends, independent projects. I think that was kind
Yeah.
of, from doing, New York Film Academy,
Okay.
like meeting all these young filmmakers.
Yeah.
I was so fortunate to get to grow with some of them as they produced their own works and, short films
Oh,
and
interesting.
stuff like that. So I've been fortunate enough to like do a lot of the indie stuff and student films and stuff like that
All
over the
right.
years.
Well, thanks for sharing. Andy, I know you're a filmmaker, but did you do anything prior to this imposter project of shorts?
As far as like filmmaking,
Yeah, like
I mean, I've helped out on set in various different departments. I'm very much like a jack of all trades, right?
oh, very cool.
Um,
Yeah.
and I've directed some webisodes. I did a lot more theater in New
Oh, you
York.
did? Okay.
I um I also performed in the Edinburgh Fringe Festival one summer before the pandemic, so that was like a really cool
Oh, wow.
experience to
Yeah.
just live in a different country for 2 weeks, and you get to like explore and go see shows during the day and then like
Wow.
perform at night. And then that was like
Yeah,
perfect.
it's like
I just keep doing this.
right. Yeah.
Um,
Hey, that's
but
cool.
yeah, so I've done a lot of like little things here and there.
Yeah.
But this is like the first thing that I'm like helming really. Like I directed a play, which is totally different ball of wax from filmmaking. But this is like the first film that I'm like helming
Oh,
to
man.
a
Okay.
extent. So
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the story on Imposter. So, how did the idea come about, and what's Imposter about? And then I know there was some fundraising going on as well, right? So,
yeah, so we just got done with some crowdfunding.
yeah.
Yes,
Um,
the Start campaign
and
ended last week. Actually, I
Oh,
can't believe it's
okay.
only been a week.
Only been
yeah.
away. Okay.
Yeah.
Like anyone who's doing crowdfunding, like, oh, like God bless you, because it's a lot of work.
No joke.
I've never done it, so I'm like, whoa.
It's yeah, it's there's a lot of work that goes into of course, like anything, like the general public only sees like the like 10% of like all the work that goes into
Yeah.
it. But so we just ended that campaign, and there's a pitch video that we have on YouTube and on our Seed and Spark page,
Okay.
to tell more about the story if anyone wants to go see that. But um generally the story of Imposter, we follow our main character is Ellie. She's a brilliant data analyst, and she is hell bent on solving a local serial killer case
Oh,
that is targeting single women who live alone. Um, and she kind of leads the investigation in the wrong direction.
okay.
So she gets iced out of it, and then has to, resort to other methods of trying to find, different clues and evidence on her own. And at the same time, she feels like she's being watched by someone.
Mm.
And she's getting this overwhelming gut instinct that she could potentially be the next target.
Mhm.
Um,
Wow.
and everyone around her is just doubting her capabilities and her instincts. So she kind of spirals into this paranoia and self doubt.
Interesting.
Um,
Oh, that's
yeah,
wow. Can't wait to see this. Wow.
yeah,
And what, so who wrote it? It was you, Andy, that wrote this.
yeah, yeah. I wrote it.
So what came up with the idea to want to do a story like that?
So, I think me, like a lot of people, started watching a ton of true crime documentaries during COVID.
I know quite a few people that did the same.
Yeah, it like that genre just like blew up. I mean, it was
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
I mean, even still to this day, I'm like at night, I'm like searching for stuff on Netflix, and I'm like murder. Let's watch that.
Yeah.
Um, so I was watching a lot of true crime documentaries. Of course, there was like tons of podcasts out. Like My Favorite Murder and stuff like that. It was just a genre that blew up.
Yeah.
And I was kind of obsessed with watching that stuff. And during that time, I read a study that was investigating why the genre was so popular.
Mm.
And they asked, which demographic is most likely to watch this genre, and the answer is women.
Wow,
And
that's
yeah,
true. Yeah. A lot
so
of
and
women that I know watch that. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's a,
interesting.
a hugely popular genre with women.
Dang, that is
And
interesting.
so I just started asking myself, like, well, why? And some of this study that they did
Yeah.
suggests that it was that women watch it almost as like a preventative measure,
Mhm.
so that if they're ever
Interesting.
in that situation, they would, kind of know
What to
what
do.
to do, what
Yeah.
Yeah.
to avoid, what to, all of that stuff. And I
Yeah.
thought that was really interesting. So that was kind of playing in my head a
Yeah.
lot. And
Interesting.
then this was when I was still living in New York. My girlfriend sent me a song that she thought I would enjoy,
Yeah.
and I was on the subway, so I'm listening to the song, and like within like the first like 5 seconds, like I'm just getting these images in my head, just like fluttering through my head, and it was like I could see, like a trailer for the movie happening.
Yeah.
And so I like ran home from the subway and just immediately put it in a document on my computer before all those images left
Uh,
me. And then I did like the writer thing, which is like wake up every morning with the blank page, and you just keep asking yourself questions of like, okay, well, what is this serial killer case that's happening? Like, why is she so obsessed with solving it? And so you just, through asking those questions, a story starts to unfold in front
right.
of you.
Right.
um, and so when I had a story arc in front of me, and I was really looking at it, I was like, oh, this is a story about a woman learning to trust her instincts.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think that harkened back to like the original thing of like, why do women watch true
Watch. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
right? Is to like help sharpen their intuition
Mhm.
about their own safety,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
which tends to get disregarded a lot and
Good.
dismissed,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really interesting and just sort of ran with that.
Um,
Yeah.
Like
so
the imposter
yeah,
is
go ahead.
almost like a play on words a little bit because it's dealing with that like imposter syndrome that I think a lot of women feel
Mm.
that when they have these inclinations or these gut feelings, they're like you almost don't trust it because you're kind of told to dismiss it. It's
Oh,
don't
that's
be
true. Yeah.
polite,
Right.
kind of thing. So it's yeah, it's
You know,
really important.
I was gonna ask like why do women watch that or why do people even watch true crime? Like doesn't that put fear in them? Like I don't want that to happen to me and then they get all paranoid. But now that you mentioned what you did of that, they're really just looking out to how to prevent it from themselves happening.
Hmm.
That's interesting. I never thought of that. Like wow, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Wow.
I mean I think it's also, I like putting puzzle pieces together.
Yeah.
It's the armchair detective thing of, let me try and solve this crime because you somehow feel like you're giving justice to something.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think the deeper, more emotional chord of it with women, at least, or maybe with just a lot of women, is like, oh, this could very easily happen to me. How do
Mm.
I protect myself?
Okay.
Yeah.
That idea of like ruminating about like so women watching these sorts of things and kind of ruminating and putting themselves in the victim's shoes is kind of a way of your brain figuring something out, and it's like a self-defense mechanism, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that would be like that. Yeah. The way they have some idea of case that's, and especially if it's true stories. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like there are a lot of it on true crime of like true stories or the people. So I think, yeah, if they're, hey, if that happened, I know what to do. So,
Mhm.
so when does this film get started? What's I guess
Yeah.
the road, the journey on this?
So we're very much in the middle of things right
Okay.
Yeah.
now. Um,
Pre-production is in full speed. I think I'm
yeah.
looking at a to-do list here that is 3 pages long,
Yeah.
Oh,
8 by 10.
okay.
Yeah. Uh,
We're still working on some funding stuff
Yeah.
to like
for
get us that
post-production.
that little bit more that we need in order to pay our crew effectively, get a good location. I mean there's a lot of stuff that goes into being on set and having it run smoothly, and really making sure that what ends up on screen is of good quality.
Mhm.
So we're still doing we're pivoting some of our fundraising stuff. We're also looking for locations. Um, yeah, Mackenzie, you have a thought?
Having a story that revolves around a neighborhood is a tall order for a lot of filmmakers, I feel, because it's not just like one home. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like weirdly hard to find, locations in like suburban America,
Yeah.
where they'll allow you to film. So, we're in the midst of doing that
Yeah.
research. We're doing some script rewrites just to kind of get it more dialed in. We're kind of switching from business brain to creative brain,
Mm.
and just making sure that the script is as top notch as it can be. Um,
Nice.
and we're, figuring out our, crewing up.
Yeah.
We
Fair enough.
need a lot of different roles to be filled. Things like a gaffer, first AD, stuff like that. So we're doing interviews. We still have to cast a few roles. We have our two lead actresses, and we're
Oh,
looking
you
for,
do?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It's going to be Anna Sundberg and Natasha Hakata,
Okay.
out of the New York area.
Nice.
Brilliant actresses, brilliant actresses.
Wow.
And yeah, really looking forward to just like giving them the space to shine
Mm.
in this. But then we have two other male roles that we need to fill. So we're going to be doing casting calls and stuff like that. It's a lot, man.
Yeah. Especially you got to find I guess, the one who's I guess the bad guy, right? The one that's out there to cause
Yeah.
harm.
Potentially, we won't give away the ending or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Um,
going to be like, so there's two already actresses, and then there's going to be like a male actor,
Yep. Two
two
male
one
supporting
male
roles.
actors, two male roles that
male
would be.
roles. Okay.
Yeah.
And you want
And
to, and what's the plan on shooting this film in New York or what part?
We've thought about the tri-state area. We've thought about like upstate New York. We've thought about like the Philly suburb area.
Oh, okay.
It's like we got to dial in our location, right? Because it's
Yeah.
supposed to be sort of like every town America.
yeah.
But we're also looking at locations in Maine. Um,
Oh, cool.
yeah. So we're also kind of dialing in that aspect of
Mhm.
it as
Yeah.
well. But it's just like the producing part of it is like you're putting together the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like like you're making sure that like we have the place, everyone's gonna
Yeah.
show up, we have everything we need, and then we can
Right.
like party, you know?
You could party. Yeah. I mean, it definitely is going to be a party because you guys are going to meet for the first time in person. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a great way to start the party. That's wow. I'm actually looking forward to it. Like, I mean, this is your first feature film, right? That you're directing?
so this is actually going to be a short film.
Oh, it's a
Um,
short. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we're looking at anywhere from 25 to like 20 to 25 minutes.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and but the great thing about how it's written is that there's definitely room to expand it into potentially like a limited series.
Oh,
So,
cool.
like
Nice.
a maybe like an 8 episode thing that you would see on Netflix
Yeah.
or
Okay.
something like that. I think there was a TV show a couple years ago with Steve Carell called The Patient. Um, which was like a 30-minute episodes. I think it was like 8 or 10 episodes long,
Oh,
like
wow.
dramatic series. Really, really good. But it has the we if it does well, and we can get the funds to do something like that, we could like absolutely expand it into
Oh,
something.
yeah, for sure. That'd be
And like
cool. Yeah, especially being on Netflix and
yeah, I mean I don't know if like Netflix is just like, the catch-all. It's like saying Kleenex for tissues, you know what I mean? It's just like the catch-all for streaming platforms. But but yeah, I mean that would be sort of like pie in the sky
yeah.
goal. That this would be sort of like a pilot or a proof of concept. And if we can expand it into multiple episodes, then we can like really go through like the entire investigation, go into more characters, and do a more fully fleshed arc for this story and
Yeah,
for yeah.
interesting. I was gonna ask, is this once it's done and everything's complete, if Mackenzie wants to share or whoever, um, is it the goal also is to put this in film festivals or
Yeah.
like yeah, is that the journey for that? Like the goal?
Yeah, Mackenzie, you can take that.
We're going to be pretty targeted, I think, with what festivals we submit to.
Okay.
We're probably going to do, in terms of film festival submissions, we'll probably do some of the, more popular, like an Austin Film Festival
Oh,
or
nice.
Tribeca or something like that. But we're also going to be doing probably a little bit more niche film festivals. So, for example, probably ones that are more women directors or
Nice.
women filmmaker oriented, so that we kind of stay true to what our messaging is and the story that we're trying to tell and who the best audience for that story will be. So we'll probably be a little bit targeted with our film festival submissions, but I think we're gonna, do like the Holly shorts, do some of the really, bigger fun ones. And I
Okay.
know Annie and I both really are, excited to not only get this film on its feet and share it with the world, but also join, this incredible community of filmmakers that, we're excited to meet now that we've got something in production. So
Yeah,
hopefully
something going.
expand our network as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think there's also, it feels like there's a shift in how distribution might be happening for indie filmmakers.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what that end result new distribution model might be, but we want to be part of that conversation.
Okay.
Um, Whether it's new platforms like things like Kinema, or through YouTube, things like
Yeah,
that. I think that there's definitely opportunities for different types of distribution after we do the film festival circuit. We've also been toying with the idea of doing, like a local brick and mortar premiere, you know.
Oh, that's
hmm
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, there's, I think, a lot of options. We're definitely doing the film festival route, and the life of this short film after it's done and in the can. I think can there can be different levels of that, you
Yeah.
know.
Of open doors of opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I have there's a festival here in El Paso that was, I think, geared to just women, showcasing their documentaries, short films. It was called Femme Frontera Film Festival. And it
I
was,
think I've heard
yeah,
of that. Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah. So
yeah,
one of my friends, she helps put it out. Like she starts to get the whole thing organized and get everything out. And so yeah, I mean, if this is done by next year's, that'd be cool to, bring it up to her and be like, hey, have you guys submit Imposter and see what happens.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think we're planning to shoot this fall.
Oh, okay.
Um, so our goal is definitely to be submitting to film festival sometime next
Yeah.
year.
Okay.
But I think there's so many like niche film festivals out there though.
Yeah, really great
Whether
ones.
it's like for female
Yeah.
filmmakers. I'm Cuban American, so there could be something like for Hispanic filmmakers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's, I think, a whole world out there.
Oh yeah, it's exciting just to see where this film will end up, and just, but yeah, that's always an option too. The Femme Frontera Film Festival for next year, if the film's already ready to go. So,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
well, I just want to say thank you for coming on Rhythm and Roads, sharing the journey of a filmmaker, an actress, producer, and exciting to have you meet in person for the first time after 4 years.
yeah,
Like, that's cool. I was gonna say when you that moment comes, record yourselves and be like, "Hey, this is us meeting for the
Oh,
first time." That'd be
absolutely.
so
definitely.
cool. Yeah, that's a story itself right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then,
Um,
yeah. So for them to find you on social media, what are your links if you want to address it?
Of course, yeah. You can check out our production company at Lucky Cut Productions. I am at underscore McKenzie Shea, and Andie is at
I'm
Andie.Lemus.
yeah, at Andie.Lemus. It's Andy spelled with an IE. Um, and yeah, thanks for having us,
My
man.
Oh
pleasure.
yeah,
My
I think
pleasure.
like
it's
what
always a
you're doing
blessing to
here is
get to know, filmmakers, actors, so producers.
yeah, no, it's cool what you're doing here, just like giving people a platform to use their voice and tell their stories. So thank you.
Oh well, yeah, you're welcome. No, it's a pleasure. It's always a blessing to hear everyone's story. I've been doing this for almost 2 years. Or already over 100 interviews I've done, and I'm like, every story's so different and unique, and that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? I've never once thought, oh, that was similar to this other interviewer I just did. It was just like, man, like there's so much stories out there. It's like there's no limit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, as you're a filmmaker and actress and producers, there's always opportunities to be doing something in storytelling because it's always out there.
yeah,
We're not going to limit ourselves from our thinking of being like, oh, no, there's always an opportunity. When one door closes, another one opens.
hmm
That's always
Yeah.
will be. So,
definitely.
well, thank you so much, ladies. It was a pleasure having you on Rhythm and Roads. And for those that like to follow Rhythm and Roads on Instagram, Rhythm and Roads Official. And if you'd like to come on and share your story, you're always welcome to come on and share because every story matters and your story matters. So, thank you so much for coming on, and we will catch you guys on the next episode.